So let's jump straight into it here on the ETF cumulative flows chart we have here on BitcoinMagazinePro.com. And today we're going to be looking at whether Bitcoin is being controlled and being potentially manipulated by institutions. Now, I'm just going to say it. No, not really. Maybe a little bit. Everyone's going to say there's paper Bitcoin. They're all centralized custodians. It's not really backed by anything. The reason why Bitcoin has struggled is there's been a lot of Bitcoin sold. It's simple supply and demand economics. Is there some shady business going on? I'm sure that's happening to some extent. We're talking about financial markets here. There's always shady stuff going on. But if we just look at the long-term holder supply of Bitcoin, what we can see is cumulatively the amount of Bitcoin held by long-term holders and sold throughout this cycle. So not just each one of these dips, but if we add every single Bitcoin held by long-term holders and distributed from the cycle low to our peak on October the 6th, there's about 7.5 million Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin. If you look at the ETF cumulative flows, the net flow is only around 700,000 Bitcoin. It is over 1.2 million held in these, but you need to take into consideration that a lot of these were just GBTC transfers. But one thing we do need to acknowledge along with that, treasury companies about 1 million. But if we look at this tweet here, which I think is very, very interesting. If you look at the ETF flows for IBIT on the BlackRock leaderboard, we can see that Bitcoin has had the 6th most inflows of all the ETFs on the platform. So this is more than QQQ, the NASDAQ, more than GLD, gold. And gold this year did 64%, at least when this image was taken. The NASDAQ, nearly 20%. Bitcoin down, the only asset down on this list, which, you know, we wish it wasn't, of course. But again, it's supply and demand economics. Did gold have to deal with the fact that about a third of all Bitcoin in existence, more than that, hit the open market? This has been a monumental amount of selling, like a crazy, crazy amount. And if we just go over to this chart here, which is looking at the percentage of Bitcoin moved by these long-term holders, again, because we need to take into consideration that Bitcoin is moving away from this electronic peer-to-peer cash into a store of value asset. And if we look at the percentage of Bitcoin that was held by long-term holders and then sold, cumulatively looked at, it topped out in this cycle around 38%. In the last cycle, 38%. In 2017, 38%. It topped out exactly where we typically see this. Did I react in time and take profit at the peak? No, of course not. I wish I did. I did actually point this out before the peak and thought, we must be close. Didn't take action. But we need to acknowledge as well that Bitcoin just didn't have as many users this cycle. We didn't have retail FOMOing into the market. We didn't have a huge capital inflow from retail participants looking to try and get some quick gains to the upside, a huge capital pour into the market. We saw an almost steady, non-stop distribution from long-term holders. If I just go over here, this is utilizing the Bitcoin Magazine Pro API. If you're not a site subscriber, why not gift someone a nice Christmas gift? If we look at this chart here, what we can see is, if you can see that my head isn't blocking the way, this is the cumulative whale shadows chart. So rather than just looking at the 10 plus years or the 7 to 9 years, etc., if we put all of them together, average out over a 28-day period, again, what we've seen is throughout this cycle, over the past 2 years, all of the whale shadows has pretty much been greater than what we've seen throughout the entire history of Bitcoin, sustained for over a year. This has been selling at unprecedented levels. Are institutions controlling, manipulating the Bitcoin price action so that they can accumulate at lower prices? Like I said, maybe. But we're talking about 25 to 30% of all the Bitcoin distributed by long-term holders being accumulated by these institutions this cycle, which is of course a very positive thing. But this is still a very retail-driven asset. The reason we didn't massively skyrocket is because there simply wasn't 7 million Bitcoins worth of buy pressure to accumulate all of this distributed coins. Is this a bad thing for Bitcoin? Are we not going to see this again? I don't necessarily think that's the case. Bitcoin, for the first time in its history, has had the liquidity available to OGs who bought Bitcoin at a fraction of a penny back in the day to just distribute at pretty much a guaranteed $100,000 price without impacting the underlying spot market of Bitcoin. It makes sense that people were taking this opportunity to see treasury companies buying, to see ETF holders accumulating non-stop and think, I'm not going to move the price 5, 10+% if I'd start distributing my coins here. And lots of people took advantage of that. Bitcoin isn't being manipulated, Bitcoin isn't being controlled, but the fact that we have seen this distribution from long-term holders. Because the thing is if we look to, where is the data? Here, this chart, the transaction count for whales. What we can see is in each cycle, it's actually massively diminishing, indicating that even though we've seen a huge amount of Bitcoin transferred, it's actually been by a relatively small amount of participants. And this is continuing to decrease, which again is actually good for Bitcoin. The fact that we don't have a small number of individuals that have such a massive quantity of Bitcoin that they can kind of dictate what happens with price action. If rather than 50 people, for example, are controlling 10% of the supply and only half of them decide to sell, this is a huge quantity of Bitcoin hitting the open market. Whereas now, rather than 50 people holding 10%, it's 5,000 people. You need significantly more individuals to universally agree now is a good time to be taking profit. So the fact that we are seeing less whales, we are seeing less concentration is a good thing. Maybe further down the line we have centralized custodian issues. I'm sure we will. We're going to have different types of manipulation, looking at the options and derivative markets who are kind of taking advantage of Bitcoin's volatility and potentially stability as a result of that. But Bitcoin isn't being controlled. As boring as it has been, it makes sense, and this is very normal for Bitcoin where it is in its life cycle. So just to summarize, Bitcoin is certainly being influenced by institutions, but we're definitely not being heavily So just to summarize, Bitcoin is certainly being influenced by institutions, but we're definitely not being heavily manipulated by them either. Bitcoin has struggled this year due to an unprecedented amount of OG selling, with millions of Bitcoin hitting the market, around 7.5 cumulative long-term holder supply being distributed. It's actually quite impressive that we've only had a fairly minor, it doesn't feel minor, but fairly minor drawdown percentage in terms of price action. 30 to 40% in any previous bull market was just considered a bull market dip, and now it feels absolutely terrible. And I know that's because we have lagged behind TradFi. If we look at the ETFs provided by BlackRock, Bitcoin was the only down one across all of the ones having a positive year. But the fact that we had seen such a massive quantity of inflows is actually fairly positive. Imagine what the inflows are going to be like when Bitcoin really starts showing its true strength, really starts aggressively moving to the upside. And this distribution by a few controlled, centralized long-term holders is actually good for the distribution of Bitcoin. We're seeing less and less whales. And at some point, the people who have this new conviction, these diamond hands, and are willing to hold for an incredibly long period of time, we're going to see the supply and demand economics start working in our favor. So again, it's hard to say exactly what the next cycle is going to look like, but I don't think it's going to be dictated by such aggressive distribution by such a small number of individuals. As always, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely festive season. As I said in the last video, we're all a bit semi-retired right now, so if you did enjoy this content, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know how everything's going for you. I hope you have a great new year as well. If you don't watch any of our videos up until that point, I'll still be here making them. But as always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.